Hello, Troy A. Shadowingtronics here once again. I don't know if you heard a coughing guy outside. He's not a part of this. This is the Art Soundoff Challenge, where we talk about, or around the month of November, hunters get together and decide to talk about what we're thinking about when it comes to comic creation and various other art type projects that we do. So we talk about podcasts or video games or UX design or whatever else that they talk about. There's some. Let's get into it. So, a friend of mine wanted me to talk about how Doctor Who affects the way I write stories, because I think he just wants me to talk about Doctor Who. Frankly, we're both fans of classic Doctor Who. Both of us not really into New Who, just because it's really different. The charm is kind of not there, and then you can get into all kinds of other stuff that's been going on with the creators and everything. But the point is, Doctor Who's not really been an influence on my writing. But that did bring up an interesting question: is do the fact that we like or not like something necessarily have an impact on our stories? Are there things that we enjoy that do not affect, that have no impact on us as a creator? Because this is something that I've been thinking about, especially in not recent years, but it's actually something that's come up a few times this year. I looked at when I was looking at the cast of the DC Universe Titans streaming series, and they were talking about, and they were upset that certain fans were getting upset at the way the thing was done. Let's fix this here. And it was in the course of what they were saying that I started to pick up on something. Creators and fans each approach storytelling a bit differently. But at the same time you would think, if you're a fan of something, it should be the same thing. But here's the thing. Like an actor will approach something and look at it from point of view of the character they wish they were playing. A writer may look at something and they like the base concept, but may not like some of the details in it. So they don't really approach it the way fans would. The fans of the Titans know these characters, and they've been, they grew up with them in some cases, and they know how these characters are supposed to act. They may even know how they're actually supposed to act in the comics instead of just knowing them from the cartoon, the recent cartoon. And as creators, I think some of us do kind of look at things differently as characters we like to create. But I think a creator also needs to look at something from a fan perspective, because that's ultimately who you're writing to. People who think from a fan perspective, not a creative perspective or performing perspective. So when they have a strong interest in certain characters, they're going to approach it that way. In the same vein, we, among the writers, can look at something as an influence in our writing, but does everything that influences us as a writer also have to be everything that we enjoy as a fan, as just someone watching these movies or reading these books or playing these games? And I think that there's a lot of stuff that I enjoy that have no influence on my style. My style comes mostly from Bronze Age DC, Filmation, Ruby Spears, to a lesser extent Hanna-Barbera, but I think Ruby Spears had more of the action idea that I was looking for. And Filmation had a bit more of the. I think Filmation is more of my art goals more than it is my writing goals. Maybe, but I also pull a lot from there as well. But I don't. A lot of stuff, like I love Star Trek. Maybe I could do a Star Trek story, but Star Trek itself doesn't influence my writing style. Um, I enjoy Batman. I could probably do maybe one or two Batman stories, but I could easily do a bunch of Superman stories. Um, Maybe even Green Lantern to a point, depending on which Green Lantern you put me in charge of. And that's because really I didn't know a whole lot about the latest two. But there's tons of things on my shelf. Stuff like Voltron type things or um, other videos. That's kind of stories that I'd like to tell. Star Trek, not so much. Star Wars, I mean, if you remember in the previous art Soundoff, I don't even remember which one. I actually talked about a group that I created called the Power Warriors, which I think I mentioned them. But if I didn't, well, the short version is it's basically conceptually a fusion of Masters of the Universe and Star Wars. In actuality, it doesn't take place in either universe. It's not a mix of those two universes, but it definitely pulls in elements from both of those franchises. And and there's a lot of the question is, can we enjoy something, but in the end, we couldn't write those stories? I don't know, are these things? There's a question for the. I like to see. Sorry about the flickering. It's the way the camera's trying to adjust my lighting versus the lighting that's here in the room. So if I go in closer, or if I deflect the light a certain way, it kind of messes with the camera. Don't worry, we're not possessed or anything. Halloween is already coming on. But this is a question I'd like to see from the other art Soundoff participants. Probably not going to happen so much from Jersey because he's kind of doing a different kind of project. But from everybody else involved, if Jersey can somehow work it in with his Transformers podcast preview idea, I wouldn't mind seeing him try it. Or maybe even they can make it a lean art contest. Are there things that we enjoy that every now and then they do a read, watch, play? Are these some things they just enjoy for fun and have no influence at all on, for everybody else too, your artwork or your story, your art style, kind of things, like it are stuff that you enjoy that you can't see yourself actually creating? I no, I kind of doubt that there's things that we create that we don't enjoy unless we're getting paid for it. Somebody doing like a freelance project for somebody else, and then we work on something they didn't enjoy. Mostly are the things you enjoy that have no influence whatsoever in art style, like with me and Doctor Who. I like classic Doctor Who. I've even written. In fact, my friend and that very friend and I worked together to create a couple Doctor Who fan comics, and then I did one which was basically K9 in a Star Trek type scenario. I don't think that one was very good. I think I could do something better now with it. But I made those things, but ordinarily, like was kind of an exception thing. I even have an idea or two that might work in the Doctor Who universe, but it's not my general writing style. It's not my general. Even then, the style would be a bit different from Doctor Who because I have my own perspectives, my own beliefs, my own worldview. Doesn't quite mesh, especially with New Who, especially with recently New Who. But that's a whole other conversation. But the point is, Doctor Who as a whole really doesn't influence my style. Even if I did something set in the Doctor Who universe, it's mostly made stuff that I might get from, like I say, Filmation or Ruby Spears, or to a lesser extent, Hanna-Barbera and Sunbow, than from anything that's actually from them, because Britain has a whole other writing style, storytelling style than we do here in America. So that's kind of my question I want to ask you guys is there stuff out there that you enjoy but you yourself could never work on and have no influence at all on your writing or art style. So, yeah, if that's something you guys want to talk about, go for it. I'd like to hear it. But consider it a bonus prompt if you have a day where the prompts in there don't really interest you. Then try that one. But at this point, I'm getting rambly, so I guess we'll drop out now. We're at 10 minutes anyway. If you want to be part of Art Soundoff, you can go to artsoundoff.com and learn how to set stuff up and look at all the prompts that are offered. If you want to hear what other people are doing involved with Art Soundoff, you can go to Twitter, look for the hashtag Art Soundoff, or the Twitter page for the Art Soundoff Challenge, which is just at Art Soundoff or at Lean Into Art, because this is part of the Lean Into Art cast. And if you want to check out more of my written ramblings and my comics, because Jake and Max of the comic Jake and Leon are actually taking part in Art Soundoff themselves, then check out my website at bwspotlight.com. So, more tomorrow, and until then, I wish you all happy creating.